Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's episode of Talking Point. We have in our studios today a person who has dedicated her life to the service of Bengali language. I thought it is fitting to invite her today because not many days ago we celebrated International Mother Language Day on 21st of February. As I said, in our studios we have a person. She is none other than Mrs. Raihana Mahbuba. She and her husband, Dr. Mahbuba S1, a former professor of Dhaka University and later a consultant with the United Nations, established Ruposhi Bangla in London in 1972. Welcome to the show, Raihana, and how are you today?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm fine. I would like to thank you personally and also NTV and its viewers for watching this program.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to welcome you. Tell us, what were the circumstances in which you and late Dr. Mahbuba S1 thought of establishing a resource center on Bangladesh? I mean, 1972 were very troubled days. See, the country was established, our independence was only 1 year old, and yet you took up on yourselves, on your shoulder and Dr. Mahbuba's shoulder, to establish this very well thought, kind, noble, but very difficult venture.
We came to Britain in September 1972. And almost at the same time, the Bangladesh High Commission was also established. And the first High Commissioner of Bangladesh was Syed Abdul Sultan. And at that time, there was a lack of manpower, and the High Commission was not well organized. So we were invited to represent the High Commission in different functions to show the art and craft and information materials on Bangladesh. So that's how we started, and I was getting bored with 3 children at home, and I was nagging my husband, I want to do something. Then he said, okay, let me think about how I can keep you occupied. Then after 2 days, yes, I think we should set up a resource center on Bangladesh to promote Bengali language, literature, culture, history. So that people can come to you, and you won't be working for other people. You will be independent. It will keep you occupied, and also it will serve the nation. It will serve the Bengali community, and also we will be fulfilling our duty to our land. So that was the inspiration.
When you thought about establishing this resource center, who helped you?
It is to start with, it was always my husband. He was full of ideas, and we didn't have any experience about business. So when we are trying to import some goods from Bangladesh, we realized that we have to register it as a limited company. We have to have VAT registration. So all these formalities was done through a friend of my husband, late Shamsul Alam. He was chartered accountant. So when the formalities were done, then gradually we started organizing ourselves, learning as we go along.
How did you start? I mean, what was the first job? What was the first project that you took upon?
We already had lots of materials because Dr. Ahmed was fond of taking photographs. So we have lots of photos in our stock, and we had slides. We have got a map of Bangladesh. We have got art and craft. So that's how we started. Then gradually we wanted to spread our wings. And in those days, the handicrafts of Bangladesh was quite well known and popular. So
they are even today, but the only thing is question of marketing, isn't it?
Yes, and also quality.
Quality, yes.
Quality, that is the most important. Packaging, quality, health and safety, all these rules and regulations.
Yes,
and so we had to crawl very slowly, and we had to learn all these little things gradually. It took time. It took a long time to get the market, to understand the need and demand.
Who were
of
your
the
customers?
To start with, actually, it is the English people, the local English people. They were interested in Bangladesh.
There must have been a curiosity about this new land.
Yeah, it was out of curiosity that Bangladesh was recently been independent, and we had lots of enthusiasm, and they were also wanted to know. They wanted to know what is Bangladesh and our culture, our history, our language. So their queries, their telephone calls, their letters, that inspired me also, gave me a lot of inspiration, motivation that no, I have to do something. So gradually, from a small dream, from a humble small dream, we gradually get bigger, bigger, bigger. At one point, we had to buy a property in Tooting High Street. That was in October 1977. I still remember the date. It was October 1977 we bought that premises in Tooting High Street. Yeah.
And what did you do there in that big building?
To start with, we had to do the refurbishment, redecoration, because it was used for another purpose. And we started importing goods and sorting out the things. And
but you went into books also, isn't it?
Yeah, the book was always there. Book was always there. But gradually, we realized that we need to diversify. So we had art and craft like cane materials, bamboo, cane, jute, clay, anything and everything. Whatever was interesting to me, whatever I saw, oh, this is beautiful. People will like it. Even the posters on Bangladesh. I had posters on Bangladesh.
You got them from Bangladesh?
Yeah, I used to go to Bangladesh from time to time and pick up those things myself. So I knew all the shops. I personally went to Bangla Bazaar to find the books.
But how did you get pottery? Because it's very difficult. I mean, they're so fragile, they can be broken easily.
Oh, they were packed properly. We had to learn. To start with, the goods we were importing, we were bringing them through by ship from Dhaka to Chittagong. From Chittagong, it will come to Felixstowe or Tilbury, those ports. And from there, we had the hauliers to deliver it to Ruposhi Bangla. But gradually things are changing. We started with a typewriter, now I'm using computers. So there's a lot of transformation, lot of changes going on from the day I started and now it is completely different.
Do you still have those old typewriters? Because they might be worth a bob.
Well, I have got an old one.
So you started with handicrafts, you moved into books, and then later perhaps you also moved into publishing.
Yeah, we published 2 books because the customers, so doctors, teachers, nurses, the visitors, whoever came, they were interested to learn Bangla. So and not only Bangla through English. So it was a very specific demand. So we commissioned Dr. Hilali, M.R. Hilali, to write a book. Learning Bengali.
A former colleague of mine at Makkah University.
Yeah, and Dr. Ghulam Murshid, he wrote that book, the English-Bengali dictionary, and that was the first and unique dictionary because all the Bengali words were written in English, transliterated in English. Phonetically. And it was, we published 3,000 copies. Later, the dictionary we published 5,000 copies.
When was that?
That was 88 and then 90. Yeah, so altogether.
So in 2 years you had to go to the second print.
Yeah, 8,000 copies we published and all of them exhausted.
Did you sell them all in Europe or elsewhere too?
In UK, Europe and also outside because the local publishers in Britain, you know, especially those who were exporting books to other countries, we were supplying to them.
Right.
And so they bought these books from us and then they supplied to other countries. And I directly also supplied to other countries, like in USA.
It must have been a massive job, isn't it? I mean, to compile a dictionary is not something easy. See, it must have taken quite some time, a number of very intellectual persons who are linguistically qualified to do that job.
Yeah, we have been lucky. We had Dr. Hilali and Dr. Ghulam Murshid to do the manuscript, and for typesetting we had a specialist like Dr. Syed Samadul Haq. The first dictionary he composed it over here. The second edition we did it in Bangladesh, which was done by Mr. Mustafa Jabbar, who is the pioneer of Bengali fonts in Bangladesh, and I'm still in touch with him. So we had a lot of expert and qualified people around
Great,
us.
see.
And my husband was a person who had a lot of connections,
Right.
and he could get them together for our goal. You know, the things that we want to achieve, he could motivate them and request them, and they complied to his request.
So it was a commercial success.
Oh yes, yes, it was a commercial success, but we never thought about business. By when we started, it was out of love for the country, out of love for our mother tongue, because we were away from Bangladesh, because I was born after partition, that means after 47. 1952 language movement, I was very young at that time. But throughout my upbringing, you know, we have gone through this language movement experience. We have seen the 1969 movement. We have seen the 70s movement, liberation war. So all these things made an impact on our upbringing, and that created a sort of love and affection and a pride in me that I am in Britain, but I have got a lot of things to contribute, to show to these people. So that is also my main force, which inspired me that I have to carry on. This is my motive. I wanted to show all the positive things, all the good things, not only in the country, also among our literature, among other things, the best out of our country I wanted to
Great.
bring
Of
out.
course, I mean, this is, you were inspired also, I'm sure, that by the sheer number of the Bangladeshi diaspora, the people living in this country
Oh yes,
for a long time. See,
yeah.
because,
to start with, there were a lot of people. Actually, Ruposhi Bangla is not mine organization. It belongs to everyone, because at that time, everybody supported, everybody loved, especially the name, the very name, Ruposhi Bangla.
yes,
That was very
it's
much
a beautiful
attractive.
name
It is a beautiful name, and
of
this
a
was
beautiful organization.
Yeah, and this was chosen by my husband, because it is the Jibonananda Das, is from Borishal, and my husband was from Borishal. So that's how Ruposhi Bangla, you know, we wanted to connect Borishal, Jibonananda Das, and Ruposhi Bangla in Britain.
So it's not Ruposhi Borishal, it's Ruposhi Bangla.
Ruposhi Bangla Limited in Great Britain.
Right. Have you had any problems like marketing, like getting across to the other culture? Because people often talk about this is a multicultural country, this is a multiracial country, multilingual country, and yet there are problems and there are pockets of problems. Have you ever come across that?
I think I was very lucky. First of all, I got enormous support from our Bengali-speaking community and some English-speaking people as well, the local people. And in this respect, I would like to mention a few names like Dr. William Redici. I think his contribution is tremendous. He publicized Ruposhi Bangla and also Bengali language all over Europe and also America. Yeah, I must pay my tribute to him.
He's a professor of Bangla language.
But he was professor of Bangla language. And also during 80s when it was GLC, ILEA, it was then, and at that time, because of the directives from European Union, mother tongue teaching was quite popular at that time. So, and then multicultural library system was also started. There were librarians from different languages in different boroughs. So I would say that we were lucky in the sense that Ruposhi Bangla was at the right time, at the right place, with the right materials. So actually, I did not have to do anything. It was God's wish.
So 1974 was the right time to go into it.
Yeah, it was the right. It took me some time to develop, to come up to that level. I think it took me about 10 years. It took me hard work for 10 years to get up to a level that I could say, yes, I am now contributing in the real sense. But in this respect, I would like to just quote a small thing.
Well, we can come back to that in our next segment.
Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately, this segment is coming to an end. And where we take a break and we take a commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss more about how you went ahead and established on a greater and grander scale the Ruposhi Bangla.
Thank you.
Viewers, we have to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back. We'll continue our discussion with Mrs. Raihana Mahbuba, Director of Ruposhi Bangla. Thank you very much. Don't go away.
আপনারা দেখছেন টকিং পয়েন্ট,
সৌজন্যে মাহবুব এন্ড কো অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টস।